Another really, really powerful tool for Twitter, and I actually think, and probably to me one of the most important things to come out, is the ability to make lists on Twitter. This was implemented last November, and it is huge because it allows you to categorize people. You get to choose what you call the list. So I have lists that are nonprofit, technology, social media, those kind of lists. And when I follow someone, I can click and see the list, all my lists, and then I can choose which lists to put them in. So for example, I have one that's Minnesota people. I have a Minnesota nonprofits, and then I have a general nonprofit, because I work in Minnesota, and so the people I really want to connect with are the people, you know, my biggest, tightest network are going to be the local people. Some of the lists I've seen out there are met in real life. So if you do actually meet someone and then you're following them on Twitter, you're able to identify that I actually know that person face to face. There's no end to what you can title those lists. And it's really important when you're new on Twitter and you only have 50 followers and you're only following 50 people. That's pretty easy to track, and that it's pretty easy to know who those people are. Your conversations, when you look at it, you're actually going to probably notice someone like me. If you're following me, you're going to think, my God, she talks all the time, because I tweet probably upward of 15 or 20 tweets a day. So you're going to look at your feed, and it's very different than Facebook, because it's normal for me to talk that much, because someone who's following 1,000 people wouldn't necessarily notice that Nicole tweeted 20 times. When you start to have hundreds and then thousands of followers and people that you're following, all of a sudden trying to figure out who those people are and making sure you connect with the people that you really want to connect with, that becomes much more challenging. And if from the beginning you start these lists and you can add as you go and you start categorizing people, then as your numbers grow, you'll have people in lists, and you can take them off if you want or change them around if you want, but you'll have the ability to actually track these people, and that is really important. And take it from someone who's got 6,000 people that I'm following and who follow me, and the list function just came out a few months ago, so I now have to go back through and try to figure out how to start categorizing these people. But I will say, since the lists have come out and I've started to categorize them, I've seen my relationships grow stronger with people, because now I'm able to read one list and see who are the nonprofit people and make sure I'm connecting with them, or who are the dog people, if those are the people I want to connect with. Another really powerful tool for Twitter is TweetDeck, or the other one is Hootsuite. The difference between TweetDeck and Hootsuite, these are actual readers where you can tweet, talk, read what's going on, look at columns, all in one application. So they're an application that pulls the Twitter feed into the application. Once you become comfortable with Twitter, it makes it much more powerful, because you're able to look at columns of different lists and different searches that you're doing all at once. Versus the online web application, the actual twitter.com application, which is somewhat limiting. And also with TweetDeck and Hootsuite, that's where you can just click and you can send something that you're putting on Twitter. You can also send it to Facebook or LinkedIn. So that changes your ability to communicate on those platforms. While if you're like me, spending most of your time on Twitter, you're also able to talk to people who are in other platforms as well. And just quickly, the difference between TweetDeck and Hootsuite. Hootsuite is online, so you can access it from any computer. And it's a really nice looking application. I've used it before, and it's certainly, many people really like that application. TweetDeck actually loads onto your computer. So if you have TweetDeck, it's going to be on my one computer. I use TweetDeck because I have a laptop, and I use that laptop for everything. So there's no need for me to have an online reader to use. It's really a personal preference what you like to use, but eventually you should graduate to one of those programs. And those are the two top ones that I would personally recommend. And if you have an iPhone, then Echo Phone or Twitterific are great. Great tools. And if you have a BlackBerry or something like that, then I can't help you, because I love my iPhone.